Welcome to another week of Independent Sports, the official MoCo football podcast. Your place for all your information and news of this week, predictions. And this week we got a great show for you guys. We got Andrew Niccol on from Damascus High School, the great captain, great leader for that team. We got Jordan Larson on, the quarterback for Sherwood Warriors. He's coming on talking about their season and, the upcoming big-time matchup with Northwest. And we got, of course, the great Matt Miller coming on. The dude was at 3 games last week, really putting in the time, the effort for you guys. So he's going to come back with a lot of great information, and hope you guys enjoy the show. We're going to get right into it. Thank you. Okay, everybody, we're here with Andrew Niccol, offensive and defensive lineman for the great Damascus Swarming Hornets. You guys got a pretty big game coming up this week, man, and I just want to, first and foremost, talk about your season entirely. You guys started out a fast start. You faced Sherwood, got that test out of the way. Now you guys are about to face Seneca Valley. How do you guys feel about your season right now, and where did you think you would be at this point, and is it where you thought it would be at the beginning of the season, and what do you need to improve to get better for the playoff run coming up?
I think we're where we expect. At Damascus, we're always expecting a state championship run, and right now we're sitting in pretty good shape. Started off pretty good. We haven't really faced that many quality teams other than Sherwood. And I think we played well in that game, but I think we really just need to improve on conditioning, because you saw we came out first half, got up 23-6, and then we were a little gassed. And Sherwood's a great team and everything. They came back and fought hard, but I think that's the most thing we need to improve on is conditioning, because we haven't played many complete games. Right.
All right. Definitely. When you're sitting out the whole second half, it's hard to get that game time shape. I understand that. So you guys looking at the Seneca Valley game, man, and you guys got great players on your team, and they do too. Where do you think that you guys are definitely going to try to establish? What are the aspects of the game that you guys are going to try to establish against Seneca Valley? And obviously they're a great team, but what are some of the things that you see on film that you guys can maybe exploit or take advantage of?
First of all, they're just a solid team. Watching film, don't see too many weaknesses or too many consistencies you can pick up on, with most teams. But I think first and foremost, we believe our defense is one of the best in the state. So if we come out and prove that, I think we'll be in good shape. On offense, we don't really have, in the past, it's been mostly just run, but this year Chase has stepped up, played pretty well. Now we're pretty balanced, so on offense we'll just take what they give us. If they sit on Trevor and Caleb and John,
right,
just throw it out to Jalen and Bradshaw.
Right.
Or if they respect Jalen and Bradshaw, we'll just hand the ball off.
Expand on that real quick. Damascus, when I was in school, was known. You guys used to get in these big power eyes and thunder the ball down the field. Now you guys, I never thought I would see it in my life. I almost fainted when I saw you guys came out in a spread and was looking over to the sidelines. Talk about that kind of like adjustment that you guys are making in, the offense, and how that really is really opened things up for the athletes, like you said, like Bradshaw and Jalen and some of the other kids that you have on your team now.
Well, growing up, like you said, you saw Matt Reedy, Steve Anderson, Evans just line up and just come off the ball and just run it down their throats. And since I've been in high school, my sophomore year, I was on varsity, and we had an outstanding quarterback, Connor Frazier.
Right.
So I just think our coaches were like, we have a great quarterback, we should start throwing it more.
Right.
And it opens up the run game for us, because it opens up the box, so we have more running space.
Right.
So it hasn't been really big of an adjustment for me, because
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure for the fans, it's been kind of an adjustment.
The last thing I will ask you is, obviously you're a great player, and you guys have a bunch of great players on your team that are, going to Division I schools and everything like that. What is that like going into the game? And when you look around, you see guys that they're getting recruited by SEC schools and everything like that, and they're all on your team. And does that give you guys a sense of confidence that knowing that you guys got the Bradshaws and the Jalen Christensens and even yourself and everything like that? Does that give you guys like an extra boost of confidence when you get in a tight, contest and you guys look around, you see those kind of athletes out there?
Yeah, it does. Like when we had Brandon Phelps and Joel Ross who are playing at Virginia and Appalachian State right now and doing well.
Right.
And now we have, like you said, Jalen and Bradshaw and even George Vincent on defense, who's a Division I recruit. It just makes you think like these kids are going to be playing in front of 80,000 people next year. Like,
right.
You expect them, and most of the times they do come up with big plays, and it just gives you confidence.
Everybody, we're here with Jordan Larson, quarterback for the Sherwood Football Warriors. And Jordan, how you feeling today, man? And how's the season been going for you?
I'm good, man. It's been good. A couple ups and downs, but we're pulling together right now.
So you guys got a big test this week with Northwest, but let's take it back a little bit. Started out with QO. Obviously had didn't really have the result that you wanted to against them, but you guys have steadily climbed the recent weeks. Of course, the loss to Damascus was the only hiccup after that. Quiet as it's kept, you guys have a really high-scoring offense. Obviously, you're a big part of that. What has been the mentality change, and what have you guys either changed schematically or personnel-wise to really increase your chances in offensive side of the ball?
I think as far as the offense goes, we just want to stay balanced, and we're just trying to move the ball and put points on the board. To us, it doesn't really matter who's scoring the points, who's running the ball, who's catching the ball. It's all about putting points on the board, and we just want to put as many up as we can to give our defense a cushion to play with.
And also, just expand on that, man. Playing for a team that Sherwood is really known for running the ball, things like that, and a lot of times, sometimes your skills don't really get accentuated. Is that frustrating for you sometimes? And do you want to throw the ball a little bit more? And do you ever lobby to the coach and say, hey man, I kind of want to get a good 30 in or something like that? Or are you just accepting of your role and accepting of the culture over there at Sherwood?
I accept my role in our offense. I understand that there's guys out there throwing 40, 30 times a week, 30 times a game, but I understand that we want to have a balanced offense. We want to pound the ball first and then supplement that with our passing. So I understand my role, and I'm okay with it as long as we're winning.
Going into this week, you guys have a real shot of, having a home playoff game. And, off of the disappointment of last season, a huge accomplishment for you guys. Talk about overall your mindset going into this game. And then now talk about you, because, you're going up against another great quarterback and the statement that you want to make.
I just believe that going into this game, we need to focus on, yet again, pounding the ball, doing what we do. And we can't let what they do on offense affect our game plan. We can't let them come out and dominate us. We want to be the ones controlling the clock, controlling the game, controlling the ball. So that's pretty much like just the way I think about it. We just need to play our game and let it fall as it happens. But also, the aspect of going up against Maddie, obviously a great quarterback. I've actually got out to see him play a couple weeks ago. I think he's done great this season, and it's pretty exciting to come up against another quarterback like that. You always want to play against the best, so it's nice to finally get to play against one of the best in our county.
I don't know if you've seen the projected playoff matchups, but there's a good chance that you guys could possibly be facing Blake High School for people that are not familiar with it, Blake is just right down the street from Sherwood, and it is a little bit of a rivalry.
Right now we're just trying to focus on these last two games, one at a time. But it's always nice to be able to think about what's down the road. And that would be a very exciting opportunity just because of like the little bit of rivalry that we have had. These last two games we played have been really, really intense, really spirited games, and it's just nice to have like a rival like that.
Right.
I don't know. I think seeing them in the playoffs would be a huge game, and even at home that would be better. Even if it's right down the road, it's still just right down the road. So I think that would be a great game.
Right. Right. Definitely, man. And you've improved a lot this season, and we're excited to see you guys play. I'm gonna have to go over to the Seneca Valley game, but definitely probably next week versus Churchill, I'll try to get up there and see you guys, and hopefully you guys can put it together and keep on doing what you're doing, man. Everybody, we're back another week with Matt Miller. Matt, first and foremost, I just got to say, your effort last week, reason why, in my opinion, we got the #1 website for Montgomery County football. You went to a game on Thursday in a torrential downpour, covering that game. You went to the game on Friday, versus Einstein versus Northwest, and then you went to the RM Magruder game, and you covered all those games, man. So I just want to commend you on that real quick. And
thanks, man. I appreciate it. I had a great time watching Walking and Wooten on Thursday. Friday was Northwest destroyed Einstein, but it was still a heck of a performance from Northwest, even without Matty Callahan. And on Monday, Rich Montgomery put on a show against that struggling Magruder team, but they were all good games, and I enjoy being on the sidelines representing MoCoFootball.com. It's all fun, and I'm passionate about it, and I enjoy it, so that's why I do it.
Let's get into the games of the week. First and foremost, let's get into the mega one, the Armageddon one, Seneca Valley versus Damascus. Say those two schools, tradition, history, great players facing each other. They're undefeated. It's going to be a classic battle. Where you see the weaknesses are, if there are any, from each team, and then how do you see the game going?
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest game all year. #1 versus #2 in Montgomery County. #1, versus #2 in 4A and 3A right now.
Right.
So, I'm sorry, in the 3A right now, both teams are just battling for home field advantage. It's going to be a huge game. I think both teams have great athletes, are well coached, and I think it's just going to come down to defense in this one.
Right.
Tom, leads the way for Damascus, and he's just got studs all over the field, as does Seneca Valley. But for Damascus, I think their weakness lately has been just their passing defense. It seems like they've given up some yards and some points through the air.
Right.
Seneca Valley has a good quarterback, Calvin Reigard, and he's got weapons on the outside with Joppy, and they've got James Jones-Williams in the backfield. And I think right now they're the favorites, even though the game's going to be played in Damascus. But, Damascus is going to need a big game from Zach Bradshaw and his company, and I don't know who's going to win. It's so close. I don't even know if I can pick it, but I'm just excited to be going to this game, and I think the entire county is pumped up for this one.
It's going to be a huge matchup, like I said before, and when you look at the matchup, you got great athletes on both sides of the ball. You got really intriguing, both quarterbacks are playing at a high level. Calvin actually has been, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the county so far. Like you said, it's too close for me to call. Both got great coaching staffs. Both are, really sound football teams. I'm just excited, like you said, excited to be there. Looking at, the next game is, of course, the Northwest Sherwood game. looking at that real quick, what do you, it's basically the same thing. What do you think that Sherwood needs to do to make sure they come up on top? What do you think Sherwood has to do to get that statement win? And now, what do you think Northwest is going to have to do to continue the role that they've been on the last few weeks?
I think this game is another huge game, and all the games are big now for all the playoff contenders. This is Sherwood. I think they still have a chance to be host a home playoff game in the 4A.
Right.
Northwest the same in the 4A West. So the loser of this game could be starting week 1 on the road, and the winner should be hosting a playoff game at home. I mean, I know Sherwood still has to do some help after that, but this game is classic offense versus defense. I mean, Sherwood's defense is only allowed 3 points in their last 3 weeks. They had 2 shutouts against Magruder and Paint Branch, and only allowed those 3 points to Springbrook in between the 2 shutouts. Their defense is just one of the better ones in the county. But I'd probably put them, 3rd or 4th behind the Damascus, Seneca Valley, QO, behind them. They're right there, though. I mean, they only allowed 28 points to Orchard in week 1, and if they played now, it could be closer. But I think for them, they just got to run the ball. They have success on the ground running the ball, and Jordan Larson, the quarterback, controls the game. Doesn't get any turnovers. Sherwood, I think, is the favorite in the game. I saw Northwest this past week against Einstein, and they were without Matty Callahan, who was resting his sprained ankle. They just with Josh Gill, the quarterback, they just put on the best performance I've seen all year from Northwest. I think I've seen them about 3 times this year, and they were dominant over Einstein. I expected more out of the Titans, but it just wasn't their night. So,
right.
Northwest is going to look to throw the ball around and mix up the run, and with the pass as much as they can. And with Callahan, if he's healthy, they have a shot. They can outscore Sherwood, but either way, it's going to be a good game. It's a shame that both these games are week 9, because I'd like to attend them both.
Right.
We've got to get some petition in the county or something to make get a big game on Friday and then make the second biggest game on Saturday this late in the year.
I looked on the board, and a lot of people were saying 20-point win and things like that. I don't think it's going to be that large of a margin for either team that wins. I think this is going to be a close game, whether Northwest wins or whether Sherwood wins. I don't think either team is going to blow each other out. For Sherwood, you're right. The defense has been dominant, but the weakness of that defense has not been tested in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I saw it versus Damascus, and that was their secondary. They have one really good corner, Elijah Spotswood. He's been playing really, really well. They've struggled a little bit and giving up some big plays in the back end, and that's obviously scary versus Matty Callahan and those boys out there. The thing about it is, there's a kid named Josh Gills over there, like you said, played quarterback last week, and the kid's dangerous, running the rock. And, that's going to be X factor in the game. The main thing with Sherwood is, the weakness for, Northwest's defense, on the other hand, is their run defense, so they got to, Sherwood, in my opinion, no matter what's going on in the game, I think should keep to the ground game, try to keep Matty off the field. And if they keep that formula, they should be in good shape. Now, if that doesn't work out, a lot of trouble. We'll see how it goes. Another interesting game that is, about to go down is Churchill versus Wooten. Wooten's coming off a very disappointing loss to Watkins Mill. You're at that game. Just talk about that game real quick and the ramifications, when it comes on the playoffs and things like that, and what both teams have to do to come out with the victory.
Yeah, I mean, the Watkins Mill versus Wooten game was it was a fun game to be at. It was a slow first half. Watkins Mill was just struggling. I think Wooten led like maybe 7-0 at halftime. And Wooten, they're a program on the rise. Coach Spinner, like I've said before, he's turned the program around. He's vocal on the sidelines. He's enthusiastic. He'll get Wooten back on track in a couple of years. Watkins Mill is, just an impressive performance by Quentin Littlejohn in the second half. In the third and fourth quarter, he took over the game. He finished with about 100 yards, but he had 2 crucial touchdowns and 2, or he converted on the 2-point conversion as well. I mean, can't say enough about him and the performance from Watkins Mills' offensive line. This week, the Wooten versus Churchill game is it's a rivalry game. It's like, down in that part of the county, it's as big as Seneca Valley and Damascus is up county.
Right.
So, I think, again, Churchill's, better team, I believe, this year. They've, shown that they can be beaten. Wooten has a good quarterback, and they've got Diggs at wide receiver and some other players around him. So, I expect a good game. I think Churchill probably has too much. Churchill, fighting for, home playoff game in 4A West. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with a victory there. Wooten, again, is trying to, hopefully get a playoff spot, looking for the 4th seed. I think they need some help, too, but a win over Churchill would be huge towards that.
Right. Right, definitely will be. Let's get into Elite 8 real quick. First 3, standard procedure. Seneca Valley at 1, Damascus at 2, QO at 3. Then we got Sherwood at 4. We got Northwest at 5, Churchill at 6. And then now we got Watkins Mill at 7 and Blake at 8. Me and you kind of agree that, we would have still had Blake at 7, had Watkins Mill at 8. The reason why, I think you agree with me. The reason why I had him up there is because, first and foremost, Blake beat Watkins Mill. And then now the fact that, Blake had to face a team like Seneca Valley, along with teams like Sherwood and Northwest. I just felt like their performances the last few weeks warranted them 7th spot. They also blew out a very good Poolsville team. That was on a little bit of a run recently until they got upset by Wheaton. What are your opinions on the Elite 8 real quick? And
I mean, I think the Elite 8 is probably going to stay pretty close to what it is. I can see a team like Wooten or Poolsville, they win and teams lose around the 6, 7, 8 mark, then move in. But I think we always talk about 7 and 8 from the wall before. I think this late in the year, it's pretty. We know who the good teams are. We know who the great teams are. So, 1, 2, and 3, Seneca Valley, Damascus, and Clemson Orchard. Those are the favorites in the county. If there are any teams in the county to win a state championship. I had Sherwood at 4, like the poll says. 5 was Northwest, and 6 Churchill. So my top 6 were the same. Those teams are the Sherwood, Northwest, and Churchill. Have outside chances to win, state championship. I mean, they need to get real hot and upset a few teams along the way. But 7, like you said, I 100% agree with you. I had Blake at 7 and Watkinsville at 8. I mean, Watkinsville did have a comeback win against Wood this week, but I just think even though Blake has one less win, they played a tougher schedule and they're beating Watkinsville straight up. So that's why I had them at 7. I don't think it's going to change much. I mean, Blake, they have a chance to win out and actually host a playoff game. Against if everything goes according to plan, I think it would be against Sherwood as of now.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bengals have ever. First, I don't think they've made the playoffs, and they definitely haven't hosted a playoff game. So that would be these last 2 weeks are the 2 biggest games of Bengals history.
Right. Well, man, again, thank you for your dedication and commitment to Montgomery County football. And, I'll be at this Seneca Valley game, and I'm sure you will be too. And, this will be the first time we actually at the same game in about 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it should be a great game. I look forward to seeing you. I mean, we're going to be on the sidelines representing MoCoFootball.com. And I'm just excited about it. 2 9-0 teams, the biggest game of the year. Hopefully we have the entire county show up in Damascus. But like I said, I'll be on the sidelines for MoCoFootball.com. And anybody wants to talk to me, they can talk to me on Twitter, MattMiller8389.
Mike Wilmer.